Hi, my name is Jillian Trimble, and the topic I chose to do my research article on was sleep. I think sleep is a very important and often overlooked topic, especially in the younger age group that the college population encompasses. When you go to bed, your body is recharging, resting, and preparing for the next day, and a lot of processes go on while you sleep that cannot happen during the day when you're up and moving around. That being said, I chose a research article that was called Delaying School Start Time by 1 Hour, Some Effects on Attention Levels in Adolescents. I think it is important to note that adolescents require more sleep than any other age group because of a lot of the physical and emotional changes that are going on in their body. They need more sleep to compensate for this. They're growing a lot. They have a lot of chemical changes with hormones and whatnot. So they need more sleep. So this study took place in Israel at a middle school, and the target population was the adolescent population, so about 11 to 14 was their target. So what they did was the researchers took a group of 46 students in a class and divided them into two groups. The control group is in research a group that you just use to serve as a comparison to the study group. So those children were going to be changing nothing about their sleep habits. The second group, the study group, consisted of 26 subjects, and they were allowed for one full school week to get 1 extra hour of sleep and come into school an hour later. So the normal start time was 7:30, and the study group was allowed to come in for a week at 8:30. So the way they measured the different aspects of this study was to measure sleep. They had a device called an actigraph. So all of the participants in the study wore the actigraph, and it's kind of like a wristwatch, and it measures within the first 3 minutes of when the wearer falls asleep and within 3 minutes of waking time by the movements that your wrist is making. Along with this, the participants were asked to keep a sleep journal. They were also asked to go to bed at about the same time every single night for the duration of the 2-week study, just to make sure that the students that were getting the extra hour of sleep weren't compensating by going to bed an extra, an hour later, so that they were truly getting the full extra hour of sleep. And also the main point of this study was to look at the relationship between sleep and attention in the adolescent population. So to measure attention, at the end of the first week and at the end of the second week on Thursdays, all of the students, the control group and the study group, were given 2 tests. The first test was a math test, and the way that worked was an equation would pop up on the screen, and if the equation was correct, the student would hit 1, and if the equation was incorrect, the student would hit 2. So for example, if 2 plus 2 equals 5 popped up on the screen, the student would hit 2 because this is an incorrect answer. And this test measured how fast the students answered the questions and obviously the percentage they got right versus wrong. The second test is called the D2 test of attention, and this is basically a test, just as it says, made to analyze attention, and it's also used to diagnose ADHD. So what it said for that was that rows of letters popped up, and the students were able to click on rows of letters until they got to the designated letter. So they would use a process of elimination to get to whatever letter it was. I think it was a D. So how it worked was the first group, the control group, came to school at the same time every day for the 2 weeks and took the test on the 2 Thursdays. And the study group for the first week came in an hour later at 8:30. It's important to note that their school time was the same, so they also stayed an hour later. And both groups took these 2 tests on the Thursdays. So the results showed that the students in the study group who got an hour of sleep did much better on the first set of tests given on that first Thursday. The results for the second week, the last Thursday, were unremarkable because of the practice effect. So they took it once, and then they were obviously going to do better the second time because they'd taken it before. So what this shows is that an extra hour of sleep can be extremely beneficial in improving attention in the adolescent age group. The report also said that 6 other studies had showed similar results. And I am personally a big advocate of sleep. I think that delaying start times by 1 hour would be extremely beneficial for kids in this age group, from personal experience and from what the research in this article and many other articles show. You know, your body is undergoing such serious physical and chemical changes. You know, you're hitting your growth spurt, you're going through puberty, your emotions are running wild. I think it would be awesome for students in the middle school population to get to school an hour later, because who wants to get up at 6 a.m. to be at school for 7? Thank you.